still a few flurries and could see a trace to 1 or 2 centimeters early Saturday. By the afternoon, 0 and sun and clouds. Sunday near -1, quiet through the day, but by Sunday night, the chance of flurries. Tonight's low -10.
Right now downtown, clear sky -8, feels more like -13. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions -9, under a Coming up at the top of the hour in California, wildfires continue to ravage the city of Los Angeles and the surrounding areas, with the death toll now up to 7 and 10,000 structures have now turned to ash. In Washington, the Supreme Court has rejected President-elect Donald Trump's bid to delay sentencing in his New York hush money case, clearing the way for Judge Juan Merchan to impose a sentence tomorrow. There's an update from Toronto's top headlines coming up at 10 o'clock.
Kick off the new year, and Mercedes-Benz Toronto Queensway's winter savings event. Celebrate with loyalty lease rates starting at 0% on select 2024 models and exceptional cash credits up to $20,000 with vehicles available for immediate delivery. Plus, enjoy model-specific in-store sales promotions and special savings on demonstrators. Details at mdtoronto-queensway.ca. Don't miss your chance. These exclusive offers won't last. Visit Mercedes-Benz Toronto Queensway today.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. Trust us. We're number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio Toronto.
680 is time 9:54. It's believed to be the most accurate picture there has ever been on the homelessness in Ontario, and the number is staggering. 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern is finding out what Premier Ford is doing about the crisis.
The number of unhoused people in Ontario now stands at more than 81,000, according to this new report released by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. It's an increase of 51% compared to 2016 levels. Premier Ford.
I haven't seen that report yet or those figures, but we have to continue what we have, by the way. We've given Toronto alone over $700 million when it comes to homeless prevention.
But does the Premier believe homelessness is a crisis situation right now?
The most I've ever seen. A lot of these encampments, we want to support these people and give them shelter, especially in the wintertime.
Ford has faced calls from some Ontario mayors to do more to tackle homelessness, with some local leaders calling for a new cabinet minister to be appointed to oversee a coordinated approach. Richard Southern, Queen's Park.
And the BC Children's Hospital says a 13-year-old girl has been discharged after several weeks in hospital with avian flu. The patient was taken to a pediatric intensive care unit with respiratory failure and pneumonia in early November, with officials saying that the child tested positive for H5N1. The family says that the experience has been life-changing, and they're grateful to have their daughter home. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll take a look at your market minutes.
No two people learn the exact same way.
So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Malcolm gets his accent right with Babbel's speech recognition.
Sur le point.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Right now, go to babbel.com/radio to get 60% off. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 60% off.
Half of all men over 40 have some form of erectile dysfunction or experience a bend or curve. Urigen ED can give you hope again. Learn about pulse acoustic wave therapy and what Urigen ED can do for you. This 20-minute medical treatment is designed to break up blockages and repair blood vessels. Now in Toronto, Burlington, Hamilton, Whitby, Cambridge, and Barrie areas. Call 416-707-2020. That's 416-707-2020. Or visit UrigenED.com. That's UROGENED.com.
And now time for your market minutes from the Business Center. Here's Chris McCusker.
Back-to-back gains on Bay Street with the TSX up by 21 points, 25,073. Now shares in Canadian Natural Resources finishing a little lower on Bay Street. The oil and gas giant says it plans to boost its overall production by 12% this year. The Calgary-based company says the growth is in part due to its previously announced $6.5 billion acquisition of Chevron Canada's interest. The company also says its operating capital budget for this year is set at approximately $6 billion, up from $5.42 billion last year. And then shares in Richelieu Hardware down 2% on the day, $37.52, close to an October low. while oil is still close to its highest price since October, up 60 cents to $73.92, and our loonie a little lower again today, closing around 69.5 cents U.S. Ahead of the release of a jobs report tomorrow, there is an expectation we'll see the creation of 25,000 jobs in December. That's about half what we saw in November, and it would keep the Bank of Canada on track for another interest rate cut at the end of this month. Now on Wall Street, we'll also get a jobs report there tomorrow. Markets will be playing catch-up because all were closed today for the funeral of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
A lot of people need more living space in their homes. Mike Holmes here with Ivan from AGM Renovation. Mike, CCU Basement is a solution. We turn unfinished basements into in-law suites, home theaters, man caves, kids' playrooms, gyms, home offices, even rental suites. And you also specialize in kitchen and bathroom renovations. Yes, we do. Kitchens, bathrooms. Our renovations start from only $47 a month. Ivan, you renovate condos and houses. How do you get design ideas or prices? Just call us. Book an appointment. Our consultants will give you free design ideas and exact price that is locked in for an entire year. AGM are the basement, bathroom, and kitchen specialists. I recommend they get the job done right.
Before February 15th, save 10% on basement renovation. Save 15% on kitchen renovation. Save 15% on bathroom renovation. Plus, take an extra $2,000 off your project. And financing makes your renovation more affordable. Call 416-888-2727.
680 News Time. It's 10 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto. Good evening. It's Thursday, January 9th. I'm Mitch Burke.
I'm Energy Hozo. Here's what's making news this hour.
A rising death toll in Los Angeles tonight, where in some parts of the sprawling city, it looks like a bomb was dropped as wildfires continue to rage. Ontario stepping up to help support the LA wildfire fight.
We are sending 2 fire bombers over to California.
What more our province is sending?
Justin Trudeau speaks to the media, and Pierre Poilievre takes questions for the first time since the Prime Minister announced his exit.
And the first ever criminal sentencing of a former and future U.S. president will be happening tomorrow, now that the Supreme Court says it won't intervene. The Leafs are running out of time to try and extend their winning streak. The Jays put pen to paper with all their arbitration available players, and the Raptors lost to the Cavs. Sports at 15.
Bay Street on the plus side for a second straight day. Solid earnings in from Aritzia, and jobs reports will be released in Canada and the U.S. tomorrow. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 10:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Asher Roth. All right, Mitch, this report brought to you by Honda. So problems have cleared on the westbound QEW west of Fort Drive. So now a couple of problems a little north of the Greater Toronto area. So northbound on the 404, approaching Woodbine, and we got a call from a driver saying that there is a car that is just stopped in the center lane. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 2 lanes in that area, so not sure exactly which lane is affected, but we've notified MTO. They are on their way to check it out. Southbound on the 400, south of Highway 89, there's a collision investigation blocking the right lane. Traffic seems to be getting by without much of an issue. I'm not seeing any delays in the area. On the eastbound 407, the 3 right lanes are blocked through Hurontario for construction, and the ramps from southbound Mavis and from southbound Hurontario onto the highway are shut down. If you're headed north on Highway 11 into the Aurelia area, the left lane is blocked through Minoke Beach Road, and also the ramp to Bass Lake Road is shut down. Now, this is what MTO call Bass Lake Road. I don't actually see a road called Bass Lake Road in this area. If you're in this area and you see a closure, I believe it's either line 14 or 15, give us a call at star 680 and let us know which ramp is affected here. On city streets, a portion of Shepherd is still closed both ways west of Bathurst for an ongoing police investigation. And in Brampton, we got a call from a driver saying there's a police investigation partially blocking the intersection of Dixie and Williams Parkway, so avoid that area if you can. Discover true performance with the new 2025 Civic Hybrid, the most powerful and fuel-efficient Civic ever. Test drive one today at your Ontario Honda dealer. And with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Mainly clear this evening, partly cloudy overnight, a low near -10. It's going to feel more like -15. Sun and clouds to start the day tomorrow, increasing clouds by the afternoon with a chance of flurries for seasonal Friday with a high near -2. And then light snow begins around dinner time. We're expecting 3 to 5 centimeters through Friday night. Our low tonight, -10.
Right now downtown, a clear sky at -7 degrees, feels more like -13. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -9 under a clear sky, feels more like -17 degrees. 680 news time, it's 10:03.
Breaking news from California tonight. New fires, new evacuations, and a death toll that is slowly rising. 3 days into this hellish nightmare for the millions who call the city of Los Angeles home. 7 people are now confirmed to be lost from the firestorm, but officials fear the true toll will be much higher once it is safe enough for search crews to enter the danger zone. There is a new fire in the West Hills near Calabasas that is being investigated as arson. One person said to be in custody. All the other fires, including the one in Palisades, continue to burn unchecked, with strengthening winds and not a drop of rain in the forecast.
Speaking with reporters during a wildfire briefing, American President Joe Biden says that the U.S. federal government is doing all it can to help people affected by those fires.
Devastation out there is catastrophic in California. Thousands of houses, schools, businesses burned to the ground. Communities wiped out, lives lost, families forever changed. They're the worst fires ever hit Los Angeles, ever.
A private company that provides data on weather and its impact estimates that the overall damage could reach $57 billion.
And our Bill Martino speaks for the Canadian journalist who lives out there, and she tells us what she's seeing firsthand.
Environmental journalist Aaliyah Jasmine, who lives with her family near Malibu Creek State Park, says 5 of her friends have lost their homes in the wildfires in the last 48 hours. It's heartbreaking to see the city this way. She says it really feels like Armageddon. Everything is gray and white and black and ash. It is heartbreaking, and it just doesn't feel real. It feels like we're watching a movie. The wildfires have destroyed nearly 2,000 homes, businesses, and other structures. Tens of thousands of people have been forced to leave their homes, and close to 180,000 residents remain under evacuation orders. You can hear the full interview with Aaliyah Jasmine on the Big Story podcast tomorrow. I'm Phil Martino.
680 news time, 10:05. Ontario will be lending a hand to our neighbors down south. 680's Queen's Park reporter Richard Southern with those details.
Ontario is set to provide supplies and personnel to help the wildfire situation. Premier Ford.
We are sending 2 fire bombers over to California, 165 urban firefighters with all their equipment.
The province also stands ready, it says, to send hoses, pumps, chainsaws, and axes. Ford used the opportunity to highlight how Ontario and the U.S. can work together.
You know, you're our closest friend and our closest ally needs help, and we're going to make sure we're going to be there for supporting them.
The supplies and personnel haven't been sent yet, but Ford says it'll happen lickety-split.
Hopefully we'll get this, and they'll be on their way by tomorrow. We're working in warp speed.
Richard Southern, Queen's Park. 680 News Time at 10:07. You are with All News Radio. A narrowly divided Supreme Court has denied President-elect Donald Trump's request to push back sentencing in his New York hush money trial. In a 5-4 ruling, with Justices John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett joining the 3 liberals, the court says that Trump can still appeal the criminal conviction in the ordinary course. The decision also says the burden imposed on Trump is relatively insubstantial, since he is expected to receive no jail time. In a news conference tonight, Trump said that decision is fair.
I respect the court's opinion. I think it was actually a very good opinion for us, because you saw what they said. But they invited the appeal, and the appeal is on the bigger issue.
President-elect is expected to attend the hearing tomorrow morning virtually from Mar-a-Lago.
And the Toronto Blue Jays were able to avoid going to arbitration with a handful of players, and yes, even Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 680's Anand Givion with those details.
The deal with Vladdy is just for this year, so he's still set to become a free agent at the end of this upcoming season, unless an extension gets done. The deal is worth $28.5 million, and the Jays now have until spring training to negotiate a long-term deal with Vladdy. He doesn't want negotiations to be a distraction during the season. Jim Duquette from MLB Radio with his theory on what it'll take to get a deal done.
Long-term or bust. Like, this is not going to be let's just do a 2-year deal and buy a 1-year free agent. No. It's going to be a 12 to 15-year deal if it gets done.
Other players that avoided arbitration with the team include Dalton Varsho, Alek Manoah, Alejandro Kirk, and Ernie Clement. From the Sports Center, I'm Alain Cavion.
It's been a month and a half now since a massive sinkhole opened up on Parkside Drive, north of the Queensway, right near Hyde Park Boulevard. 680's Kyle Hawking brings us an update on those repairs.
It was late on November 20th that soaking rains caused a sinkhole to form alongside the roadway, which caused a dangerous portion of Parkside itself to be swallowed up as well. Traffic had been reduced to a single lane both ways for about a week afterward, while some of the repairs took place, and after that, the right lane was blocked for southbound traffic, but northbound motorists were no longer impacted. That was around the end of November, and since then, nothing has happened. There is still a short section of southbound Parkside, south of Hyde Park Boulevard, where the right lane is coned off waiting for repairs, but no work has taken place in more than a month. I reached out to the city, who took some time to get back to me, finally saying workers expect to have the road fixed up by the end of the day tomorrow, I'm told, barring any unforeseen circumstances. For the 9-Year Drive, I'm Kyle Hawking.
680 News Time 10:09.
680 News Radio, Toronto. This portion of 680 News Radio is brought to you by the Herzig Eye Institute.
Hi, I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. Did you know that wanting to play their favorite sports better is the #1 reason people have their vision corrected? Let our team of world-class surgeons help you improve your golf, your tennis, and yes, your hockey. See if one of our high-definition vision procedures is right for you. Google Herzig Eye Institute. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Look after yourself. Promise me.
Time now for the gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, holding at $1.55.9 a liter at most.